I wanted to say, speaking of things, I read that bit where you missed that plane from Chicago to Los Angeles. Gee whiz, you must have had an angel on your shoulder that day, Lindsay.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
I'm very into listening yourself. I mean, I think that's a huge part of our evolutionary growth. Honor your intuition.
yeah,
And it doesn't even always have to make sense. That's the thing. People keep trying to use their left brain while they get intuitions, and it doesn't compatible. I mean, you need the left brain to go out and do what the intuition is telling you should do.
it's
But
true. It's funny. We sometimes have these innate gut feelings, don't we, that many people who don't listen to themselves don't know what it means. But then if you do, more often than not, you choose a path that is really going to be right for you.
even in a moment, if I had left there an hour ago, I would have been right in the middle of that accident. I mean, simple things. It doesn't have to be big giant things. You know, it can be. Yeah, I ended up meeting my husband because I really didn't want to go. I didn't like the person, and I didn't,
That's
and then
right.
went over here instead, and that's where I met my husband.
But it also, Lindsay, it does beg the question, how do you reconcile with a very dramatic sliding doors moment like that, where I think in that particular situation, 273 souls were lost. You could have been one of them. You weren't. Do you wind up with this thing like survivor's guilt to some respect?
No, and it's no disrespect for anybody. It's just I don't believe that was my time. When
That's
my
it.
time comes, there's not going to be anything that I can do about it. It's going to be my time. Whatever that actually means, people put different things onto those words, religious beliefs, or just, my time is up, the universe is whatever it is, or
But away from showbiz, your life has taken you on many and really some quite amazing journeys. I mean, you were 19, diagnosed with severe ulcers that were virtually eating their way out of your stomach. But yet, through meditation and visualization techniques, you were able to almost miraculously avert dramatic surgery. Step me through how that happened. I mean, what is visualization techniques and what is that meditation and how did they work?
it was actually my boyfriend at the time. His mother was the personal secretary to Dr. William Hornaday, who was the head of a particular church that was called the Science of Mind Church at the time, not Scientology. It's different, very different. It's it's understanding body, mind, and spirit as all the parts of us, and using our own imagination and our own intention to tune into the life force that we have constantly within us that we don't recognize and acknowledge. Like he would say, Dr. Hornaday would say, love, energy, that's what's going to bring healing into your body.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
then your body will have the juice that it needs to heal. Babies, why are they so amazing to look at, to touch, to hold? Because they're just not holding negative thoughts and things. They're just, the life force is strong. They're love. They are love. They're just gushing with it. That's what feels so good to us. People don't usually talk about it like that. It's just because they haven't been so wrenched around and crunched and scrunched with ideas and thoughts and responses. And so he talked to me about meditation and what it was about. And he said he'd be happy to teach me to do that. Isn't that hard? It's just learning a few guidelines
Mm-hmm.
and some philosophies about looking inside yourself, looking at what you're feeling, because that's affecting everything that you do, everything that you say, and certainly affecting your energy. And so that affects your health. That's how they put it. So to introduce you to a Dr. Farid. So I consider him to be a holistic doctor. He thinks of his patient as a body, a mind, and a spirit. And he deals with the body and helps with the mind, because then that's going to be, and then the spirit's going to just do the work, if you allow it.
Mm.
And so they put me in a private hospital, and Dr. Hornaday worked with me on the meditation and whatnot. Then Dr. Farid said that he wanted me to write an autobiography about everything I could remember in my life from the time, my earliest memories up to now. And they had me on a very strict fast. I had nothing but skim milk for 6 weeks. And and water. After I finished writing that autobiography, he had me write a chronological order every time I could remember that I was sick, if I was ever sick. And once I got that finished, you used to have your parents help you if if you can't remember certain things or certain times, so just put everything down. Now, when I got them both done, he brought them in. He said, "We're going to lay this sick pattern, this thing over the experiences in your life, what was going on in your life." And because I kept saying, I don't see how this in my stomach can be an issue about stress and being upset and whatnot, because it never happens. My attacks didn't happen when something was going wrong, when things were bad or things that worried me were happening. It was when everything was calm and quiet. That's when I would get these attacks. And he said, "Well, let's see. Come on, let's look at the two papers together." At which point he was able to show me that I had a personality type that's very good in a crisis. And I take care of business and I stuff my feelings. And so he said, that's what happens. You don't deal with it once everything is calm again. You don't give your body and your emotions credit. You don't look at it. You don't let it release now that everything's okay, because you were affected by it. That effect is always going to be there unless you let it complete itself. Mm-hmm. And over time, with negative energies and experiences still being stuck in us, not that we lose our memory. You don't have to forget them to be healed of the trauma. You need to release the energy of it. And there's all kinds of ways to do that. But in this case, they had me using visualization for different things. Mm. And that ultimately, within 6 weeks, I was being able to eat slowly, do new things. And I never had the surgery. And my stomach from that point on was always my guide as to how I was doing in my life, how I was, when I'd feel twinges or pangs or something in my stomach, it was like, okay, what am I not looking at? What am I not dealing with? I stuffed something. I wonder what it was, but my stomach's a little like this all of a sudden. So I learned that was a communication system between me and my body.
And these incredible life lessons that you learned back then, Lindsay, you've kept with you, and you are much in demand as a motivational speaker, as a great inspirer, helping people find serenity through meditation and those visualization techniques, and also assisting those who've endured domestic violence situations and helping them reconcile and come to terms with that. You're somebody with so many incredible dimensions. You're fascinating to talk with.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.